Being in your 20s is like, I'm so young but I'm so old, I should do everything, I should rest, I can do what I want but I need to be careful, I'm an adult but I need help from an adult, I'm so smart, I'm so stupid, I'm leaving and I feel left behind, I want to be a kid again, and I can't wait to be old, I've done a lot yet I've done nothing, I wanna be alone but I'm so lonely, like what the hell?
You are a fresh graduate, you are very inexperienced with life, or you're an adult who is in charge of your own destiny. You are old enough to know what you want and where you want to be in life, but you're just a little bit too young to get there just yet. You know what's the right thing to do, but you don't do it. You can diagnose yourself with all of these problems, but you just can't seem to feel better. You're both so smart and oh so dumb. How great it is to be in your early 20s. I'm turning 24 really soon, which is so exciting for me because last year it was a little bit too much, to say the least. You wouldn't see me suffer physically. I didn't have any losses, any traumatic experience, but a lot was going on internally. And then I went online and I saw that a lot of people were talking about the same thing. They were complaining about how 23 was a hard time for them. How can we, very different people, experience the same thing? Is there an explanation for it? So I want to do some digging to see why the early 20s could be tough for a lot of us, and specifically one reason why 23 might be harder for some of us than others. Now let's go through some reasons why the early 20s could suck. It is a time for a lot of significant transitions and changes. A lot of us are finishing college or starting out our careers, and that on itself could be overwhelming and stressful. We might also be navigating new relationships or social situations while building our identity and finding our sense of self. And that transition from college to real life, meaning financial stress. You're not a college student anymore, so you have to sustain yourself by working a job or solidify your career. On top of that, if you have student loan, there's also a lot of pressure that a young person have to deal with. A common struggle for a lot of young adults nowadays is the pressure to succeed young, to figure it all out, to have a stable life path. Nowadays, the newer society encourages people to forge their own unique path by following their passions, finding their true calling, or living a non-traditional lifestyle, work a non-traditional career.
What's the point of society?
It's actually to have fun.
On the other hand, there's those social and cultural norms that a person has to observe or obey, like having a car, getting a house, getting a stable job, starting a family, or settling down. All of these social pressure can create conflicts between what the self really wants and needs and what we've always thought that is true. So traditions, values, and social milestones. Besides social pressure, there's also uncertainty about the future. All of these factors can contribute to a sense of anxiety and uncertainty about what's going to happen. After all, we've only lived for 1/3 of our life if you're lucky and you're an average person. So we don't know better. To us, it just feels like the future is bleak, and that makes our early 20s all the more challenging. So that's what's happening on the outside, but what about what's going on in here? The human brain undergoes significant development during the teenage years until
25,
mid-20s. The prefrontal cortex, which is the area that's responsible for impulse control and decision making, is one of the last to fully develop. So other areas of the brain can go a little bit cuckoo, like the part that is responsible for emotional impulses. So imagine having both a kid and a parent in here. The kid part of yourself wants to give in to temptation. It indulges yourself in old patterns and tendencies. It likes to have emotional outbursts and all of that fun stuff. The parent, the adult in you knows what's right and wrong. It's basically judging the kid and telling the kid to do things a certain way. And with all of that chaos in our head, no wonder all of us are walking paradoxes. In astrology, age 23 is one of the 12th house perfection years. Your life repeats in a 12-year cycle with a different theme for each year. The theme for the 12th year is about
the subconscious,
hidden enemies, bad habits, self-sabotage,
mental health,
dreams,
spirituality, isolation.
It's the house of undoing.
the hidden side of our nature. So for a lot of us, we will uncover things that we don't see or we don't understand about ourselves. For many people, it brings powerful transformations, endings, and realizations. On the extreme end of it, you could experience suffering and loss, but beyond the pain, it gives us lessons about humility, about accepting our own shortcomings, compassion for ourselves and for others, and resilience to bounce back to continue to move on. The 12th house perfection years are 11, 23, 35, 47, and so on. Year 23 is the first one you experience on the verge of adulthood. You're starting to learn a little bit more about yourself, but you haven't experienced too much of life. So it feels like it's one of the harder ones because you're starting to feel conscious about your experience, but you don't understand it yet. And you know, I say whatever I want, but for many people, it wasn't bad at all. A lot of people have told me that these are the best year of their 20s and they want to stay forever young. For many people, they've had it hard, but they got better going through it, or they look back and they were able to find peace with a good interpretations or perspective. So although I talk a lot about the pressures and the challenges that one might face in early 20s, I don't think there's anything to be afraid about being in this weird period of life. So as you can see, all of these dilemmas, the external and internal pressure creates a gap between who you are and who you want to be in life. And the gap makes it rougher for people in their early 20s. We know that we want to have something in life. We are smart enough to understand that it takes a lot of time to get there, or we understand that we are still incredibly young, but no matter how much we rationalize it, we still suffer. We still don't feel good. We still want to have all the answers and figure out everything. And that's totally okay. That's the fun part of being 20-something. Trying to figure out your life, exploring yourself, and living like it's your first time. I think life is challenging if you believe so. So every age has its own set of problems. But whatever you believe in, being 20-something is a challenging but rewarding time. Everyone's experience is different. There's no one right way to navigate this life experience. So live it your way. If you're reaching your 23, become eager to rediscover yourself. If you're going through this right now, let it flow through you. This too shall pass. And if you've passed 23, please share your experience with us and comfort us. For me, I'm just really excited to turn 24, and I can't wait to experience what lies ahead in this new age for me. Happy birthday to me.